Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show. How is everybody doing today? My name is Seth Juarez, and today we're going to talk about large language model apps. We've been playing with PromptFlow for the last couple of weeks. Today I'm going to show you something new. Hoping you'll like it. Get you some docs and get your feedback here. My name is Seth Juarez, and I'm excited to be here. Where's everybody coming from? Tell me where you're coming from. But before we get started, I'm going to turn the music down here a little bit, maybe even off. I do recognize that today is September 11th. I just wanted to make sure that everyone recognized, that was, I still remember what was going on that day. I was driving into work. I worked for a company called Holman's of Nevada. I was a senior software dev. I led a team of engineers, of consulting software engineers. I remember driving into work. I lived in Las Vegas at the time. And I remember hearing stuff on the radio that sounded weird. So I called in and I asked, what's going on? And they told me what was going on. And proud New Yorker here. I lived in New York from when I was, I was like 8 till I was 14. I went to PS 94, public school 94, and IS, intermediate school 97, ending S Prawl. And so New York has a special part in my heart. And so I just want to recognize that today is 22 years since it happened. So I just want to bring that out. And so if you're wondering, yeah, it's clear to me. But life goes on, and we want to make sure that we make those of us that sacrifice that day proud of what we do. Okay. So I just want to bring that up because I just don't want to be like I said, I lived in New York, not at the time. I was in Vegas after, but it was difficult for me. So as sure as it was difficult for folks, but I want to recognize that right off the bat. And so let me put the music back on. And remember those that passed away with fondness and those that heroically helped that day. All right. Let's see where everybody's coming from, my friends. Let's reminisce a little bit. Here's Sam. I was in New York City as well and saw the smoke on the sky. It was my 60th day in the U.S. This affected everyone. Yeah. Thank you, Sam. I was in 7th grade that day. Yeah. New Jersey raised. So, yeah. All right, let's see where everyone's coming from. Let's see. We have somebody from Raleigh, North Carolina. Never forget, indeed. Austin, Texas. Hello, my friend. Atlanta. New Jersey. UAE. Welcome, my friend. Detroit area. The Netherlands. Austria. Seattle. I'm so grateful for everyone spending their time with me this morning. I'll make it worth your while today. We have some really cool stuff to show you today. And I say we, I mean me. London, homeroom. That's awesome. Turn it up. Hungary, Brasileiro here. Welcome, my friend. Belgium. Thank you for coming. I thought we'd start today. Someone also gave me some feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts on accessibility for this show. They said it was difficult to pay attention when there's extra music. And you know what? I understand that 100%. I have a hard time paying attention because there's always seems to be music in my head. So having extra music is probably hard. So I totally get that. So I'll let this music play out, and then we won't have that much music afterwards. Surly Dev is here, my friends. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Oh, Greg Levenhagen, my friend. I have not traveled anywhere for work in a long time. It's been, I think it was 2020. The last assignment I had is I went to California to visit production lot to help them with something. That changes tomorrow. I have to go to New York for one day. It's going to be great. I'm excited. And so, having said that, I used to visit with Greg a lot when I used to go back to the Midwest to a wonderful conference called That Conference. Yes, That Conference. It's great. All right, so let me tell you what we're doing today, just so we can get a feel for it. I've got my handy dandy pen here today. What we're going to do is we're going to look at a new tool for building LLM apps, not LLMs themselves, but LLMs apps. And this is important, right? Because it's important to recognize what's the difference between building an LLM and building an LLM app. It's not the same thing. Not the same thing. Number two, we'll make something with it. Make something. And then number three, I'll take your cues, questions, and answer them live on air. And then I'll show you a couple of community things that we can do when we're offline and trying to work with something called PromptFlow. I may put music on, but I'm going to put it really, really low because it feels like hello. Hello. Kind of feels like that a little bit. So I'll turn something on, but I'll put it really low, super low. There you go. At least I can hear it. If you can't hear it, that's okay. Yeah, you heard the echo, Sam. That was on purpose. I was doing. I have a thing that lets me change my voices. Okay. So without further ado, let me go to VS Code. I have here. Can we have a recording for those at work? Absolutely. Yes. This will be recorded. That it will be recorded. So feel free. I'll make sure to tell you where. So I want to show you that I'm actually starting from nothing, and I'm starting from Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Visual Studio Code. So there's a new extension that I want you to check out right here called PromptFlow for VS Code. They like secretly released it. I want to see this number go up to like. I would love it if like at the end of the month this thing was like at 5,000, and then at the end of the next month it was like at 10,000. So I mean, we all have homework now. 465 installs. Look, two people said it was great. Was one of them me? Was it me? Huh. These dudes. I work with them. I want to see your reviews in there as well. PromptFlow for VS Code, which is pretty cool. I feel like I need to like PromptFlow for VS Code. I feel like I need to be like. Yeah. Let's install it. Let me turn this down again and put some music on here. Okay. So I'm going to install it. Prompt flow. No extensions found. What are you talking about? Just literally looked at it. Search extensions. Prompt flow. Yes, there it is. There it is. So I'm going to install this now. There you go. So now that it's installed, I have PromptFlow, and so you should see this little thing over here. This thing. This is such a cool icon. Look, there's a P in there for PromptFlow. Yeah. Okay, let me turn it down a little more. PromptFlow. Okay, so now that we have that, we have this thing here. The first thing it's going to tell you is that it's not installed. So let's go to, okay, so this is a Python thing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, like I said, this is all from scratch. Python -m. I like making virtual environments for all my stuff. Yes, you did notice that I made a new thing. Yes, I want it to be the actual thing. Let me move this over so that, very good. Control plus. Nice. This is much bigger. Nice. There you go. Now my face fits just nicely in there. Okay. So I like making virtual environments for stuff. And I don't know why this happens, but you have to reopen it for the environment. And so for those wondering, this is PromptFlow is a Python thing. And so for it to work, it needs to have a Python environment. And I don't like polluting my base environment. And so you can see here, I made a new one. And the other thing I do is obviously git ignore. Another question: does it work with Conda? Absolutely, it works with Conda. Any Python thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to .venv. This thing cannot be in there, and then I'm going to say git init, because that's what we do. That's what we do when we're making projects. By the way, if it's too small, let me know. This is just my Visual Studio Code. I keep this on the right because I don't like this thing moving around. All right. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. Looks like to make this thing work, we're gonna install some dependencies. So I'm clicking this. This is the instructions for Conda to manage environments. Okay, so notice that you can see Conda here. Absolutely. So this is to make Conda work for activation, or you can activate your virtual environment. Notice that I call them .venv. You can call them whatever you want, but I do that too. And it looks like we need to install a couple of things. So I like to do this requirements.txt. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to take these two goodies and I'm going to put them in here because I like to have everything documented as I go so that this can be reproduced. So there you go. There's that. So I'm going to say pip install mine. By the way, every once in a while I look over because I'm seeing all the things you're saying in the chat. I want to make sure that I am attentive to that. Pip install. Oops, I'm in the wrong spot. Pip install -r requirements.txt. And so now I've got this thing going. I put them in here, by the way. PromptFlow and PromptFlow tools. These are all. You're probably wondering, well, where can I look at the code for that? I'm glad you asked. Let's see. PromptFlow GitHub. I'm going to Google it with Bing. There it is. Here it is. It's public. You can all go look at this now. Come complain at us. Here, there's tons of places to complain at us. Oh, it's authenticating me. I have special access. Yeah, go in there. Show us what you want. You can see it's all here. There's also some documentation here for those that are wondering. I'm just going to go off the cuff, if that's okay. All right. Another question that is a good one. What app do you use to zoom and draw arrows in your presentation? I use Zoom It. It's a great tool. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code here. There you go. Oh, I got it in python.exe. Oops. Python.exe. By the way, this is all happening. This is not like, okay. This is not like a recording. So you're going to see me mess up, and that's okay. Okay. So now, in theory, PromptFlow should be good to go. So let's refresh. Nice. Nice. Let's see this. Nice. So now we're good. So when I go back, hopefully everything will work. Okay, so there you go. All right. So nice. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to create a prompt flow from scratch, artisanal from scratch. So let me do this. And the way you do it is you right click and say new flow in this directory. So let's do that. So new flow in this directory. I'm going to do a chat flow because that's what I'm used to. And files with the same name are, oh, nice. Nice. What is it? Is it doing stuff? Oh, it deleted that. I don't like that. So prompt flow and prompt flow tools. That's what it was before. Yes. No. Okay. Cool beans. So now notice it's dropped this dot prompt flow thing in there. That's interesting. And it looks like there's some tools in there. So, okay. So there's a lot of files that it's dropping, and you're like, what is it doing? So when I click on this, notice that the prompt flow is it's just a it's just what can I say? It's just a YAML description of the thing. So it looks like I got the right environment. Looks like I might need to restart because it's still thinking about like everything. So I will restart this here. So let me open it again. Put it over here. Nice. Okay, so let's see if this changed. Yeah. So now notice that things look different. You're also going to see that I've already done stuff in there, and that's okay. I just wanted to show you from the beginning what's going on. Okay. So notice that this is basically now a graph that represents your prompt flow. When we were looking at this, we thought editing this is going to be a pain in the behind. So we have these little helper things here that let you like select the environment. So for example, those that asked about Conda certainly works with Conda, but I'm using the virtual environment. But you have this thing called the visual editor. And all the visual editor does is it manages the prompt flow directed acyclic graph, a DAG. Because notice that information from for a prompt flow has to flow top down into a call and then out. All right, so let me click on Visual Editor. And this here is the prompt flow that you're going to see, right? This is it. I mean, this is pretty cool because again, all the files live locally, and you can do everything that you've seen before, but locally. It's important to recognize that this visualization is to help you make this YAML file that describes the graph. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is we need to connect it to Azure OpenAI. So to manage connections in PromptFlow, you go over here and you go to connections. And if you want to add a new connection, you hit plus, and I'm going to connect it to Azure OpenAI. And this is cool because like, here, let me zoom out. It's a little big. What you do is you name these things, you give it the key and the API base, and then you hit create connection. But the important bit, and this is really important, is this part right here. The connection information will be stored in a local database with API encrypted for safety. PromptFlow will only use the connection information, including keys, when instructed by you, e.g., manage connections, use connections to run the flow. So even though it looks like you're making a YAML file and you're saving it with your stuff, you're not. That's not what this is doing. And that's important because folks might be like, well, wait a minute, you can't do that. Well, yeah, you don't check this stuff in. I've already created a couple of connections myself, and so I'm just going to use them. But this is the way I created them. And the way you edit them is you right-click and you say update connection, and what comes out is this exact same thing with the things filled out, but the API key is starred out. So I don't need that. So I'm going to close that. One thing that we found that we're probably going to fix is to create the connection. You have to click this thing right here. If you didn't see it right away, that's okay. Don't worry. Just hit create connection. Okay. So I've already created the connection. So I'm just going to click this and select select my thing, and notice that you have the exact same stuff from before. Notice that you have the function calling as well built in here. You have the advanced parameters like top P, frequency penalty, logit bias. Is it logit or log? I say logit. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. Okay. And then you can see that if you've used PromptFlow before, you take the inputs from like above. So inputs.question, you can see it's in the drop down box. The other thing that's important is this notion of this chat thing. Um, what is the actual prompt for this? Well, notice that we are using Jinja files. And so you can see exactly like this is the actual prompt that's in there. So if you go here and then you go to the prompt, it's this thing and it's Jinja. And if you don't know what Jinja is, it's like it's cool stuff. It's like a cool way of like doing like I think it's used in Django to do HTML generation. So yeah, and yeah, so there's a good comment. So conveniently, you could use Git secrets to keep it safe, even when having this code under control. No keys are pulled. Yes, the reality is that these connections are not stored in the project. You don't see any of the. They're stored like in the PromptFlow, VS Code extension area, and they're locked up, and we don't use them for anything other than you only use them for what's in here. Okay. All right. So we've got that. In theory, we should be able to test it now. So to test this, let's do this, and I'm going to run it in interactive mode. So let me do this real quick. So there's a bunch of stuff up here, like for example, play, test, debug, etc. I don't even know what is this one. Build, and sort, etc. So I'm just going to run it and show you what it does. I'm going to run it in interactive mode. So let's do that. So run in interactive mode. And again, I really haven't done very much, honestly. Okay, so now I'm just in the chat flow. Who won the first Eurovision Song Contest? And what this will do is it will go through and do it. You can see it's pretty good. And it's all running locally modulo the calls to Azure OpenAI, of course. So modulo the calls to Azure OpenAI, this will just run. Who was the best singer ever at the Eurovision Song Contest? There you go. So Control C. You can also put like I'm gonna leave this empty on the chat and say who won the Eurovision Song Contest, and then you can run it in standard mode, which I think will just take these inputs and do this thing. Let me move that out of the way. There you go. Most recent winner as of May 2021. You can start to see the limitation of this thing. The contest was can't. Oh, okay, cool. So you can see this running. The other thing that's interesting is you can see this PromptFlow API calls, and you can see that when I select a node, you're seeing the API calls here as well as the type, the inputs, the outputs, and then any errors. Right. So there's the input, the output. I don't know why the output is saying that. So let me go here. Boom. Very good. Here's the inputs. All right, the messages, etc. And then the output. The output shouldn't be raw. So I'll have to look at that. It looks like it's a generator is the output. Oh yeah, it's a generator because it's doing it's streaming it. So that's why you don't see it right away. Okay. Cool beans. So let's make this thing more I don't know, more interesting. We're going to go back to our Contoso example from before. Do you remember we did this? We were doing this a little bit where we're trying to look stuff up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this thing and I'm going to remember. Let's see if I can remember. The other thing we're going to add is a customer ID so that we can bring in like customers. We'll do customer number 6. Control S. So the question is, which extension am I using? It's called PromptFlow. PromptFlow. So if you go here and then type in PromptFlow, this one. By the way, I showed it here. again, our goal, homework for today. We want to get this thing to like 5,000. All right. So I put a customer ID in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a node here, and I'm going to use uh, um, an LLM tool. Oh no, let's use an embedding. Let's use an embedding because I want to embed the question. Question embedding. Boom. And the input's going to come from the question. So we'll use this, and the deployment name is the text embedding. Sigma, the best. We don't want to do that though. We want actual people, not bots, man. Come on. Okay, so that's a question embedding, and then I am going to do a search. This is the same one we were making last time. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call. I'm going to call cognitive search. So retrieve documents. Okay, so we'll do this in a new file. Cool. Cool. So notice a couple of things. Number one, when I put this thing down, you're probably wondering, well, where do I edit the code? Well, the code is actually in here. This is the actual code. It's actual real code. And so I don't want you to think like, oh, it's hiding it. No, this is all the stuff you check in. I'm just going to copy some code because I don't want to write it and mess it up in front of you because I've written this code so many times. This is a let me wow, this is kind of 1, 2. I want it to be big, but not so big. So notice that there is this question that comes in, the index, the embedding, and we're going to do a search on that. Okay, and return that. Looks like we have a problem here with our requirements. So one of the things I need to add is what do I need? Do I have an Azure key credential? Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the requirements.txt and add Azure search. This thing here is a beta 4. This is with the one with vectors. And so now I can say something like Python minus R, sorry, pip install minus R requirements.txt. Beep boop beep 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 boop boop beep 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 doop boop 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 boop. I hope that's okay. Did I break it? I don't know. Let's see now. Let me close it and let me open it up. Okay. It says it doesn't see it, but let me scroll up and see what the warnings are. Mako render. Workzug. I don't know what that means. Does anyone know what that means? I think it should work. Let's try it though. So what I'll do is I'll set a breakpoint right here. Set a breakpoint right here. Oh, the other thing I need to do, of course it's not going to work, is I need to regenerate. No. It's generating the tool. Here we go. For some reason, it doesn't like the things I put in there. So this should, let me close it and open it again for some reason. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's for some reason I do not have the right things in my there. I'm looking at. I have another project open. I did see this. Maybe this can cause a problem before. So pip install -r requirements.txt. Oh, okay. Looks like that fixed it. I don't even know what this is. They told me to add that one time. Okay, so that works. Let me go back here. Question and there you go. Now it works. So the question name that we want is inputs.question. The index name that we want, and if you're looking at this, you're like, what in the heck is he doing? Let me open up my Azure Cognitive Search over here so you can look at it because it's going to ask me to log in. I just don't want. I don't want to. Okay, where are you? Here we go. Hubert data. We have some indexes, and Contoso Trek is the index we want. And you can see that the Contoso Trek has a content file name, title, and it also has like an embedding. So Contoso Trek is the name of the index. So we'll go down here, Contoso Trek. The output is this question embedding. And we're going to use this search connection. And just a reminder, connections are these things that connect you to other things, like cognitive search, OpenAI, etc. You can even make a custom one. I'm going to make a custom one soon. Okay, so this is going swimmingly. Now what we need to do is we need to actually do the LLM call. Sorry, we need to build a prompt. So let's go over it. My bot broke it. Yeah. Thank you. So now I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to add a prompt. And this prompt is going to be the customer prompt. Hurry up. We're going to run out of time here. Customer, it's all my yapping here. Nice. So notice that this is a customer prompt.jinja, and you can change anything in there that you like, right? I am going to do this. I'm going to take this out because we can't do this quite yet. There you go. And so this is the prompt. You are an AI agent for Contoso Trek Outdoor Products Retailer. As the agent, you answer questions. Hold on. You are an agent for the Contoso Trek Outdoor Products Retailer. As the agent, you answer questions briefly, succinctly, and in a personal manner, using Markdown and even add some personal flair with appropriate emojis. You should always reference factual statements to search results based on relevant documents. Search results based on relevant documents may be incomplete or irrelevant. You do not make assumptions on the search results beyond strictly what's returned. Wow, there's like 2 minutes of that. I don't know if I can keep going. So this is the prompt, and so now when I go back to this flow, you can see that it's asking about the documentation and then the history. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say that the output comes from the no. We got to pass this into an LLM. What am I even doing? So here's an LLM tool. We're going to call this one the LLM. Oops, I pushed the wrong thing. LLM response. New file. Fantastico. I'm going to choose this one, Chat API, por favor, GPT-3.5 Turbo, of course. And then this thing also has its own Jinja file. The reason why, because you could put it all in the same place. The reason why I didn't is because I wanted to. This is how you test like various prompts. And so this prompt text is going to come from above and then the question. So now when I do this, the prompt text comes from customer prompt.output and the question comes from question. Okay. One of the things that I want you to notice is that this LLM response, when the user asks the question, I'm forcing the user to also say, please be brief, use my name in the response, reference, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But it doesn't know the name, so that's gonna break. It's gonna make up names, just FYI. I'm telling you that right now. And now finally that we've done this, let's go up here, and the output is going to be the output of the LLM response. Thank you. My Brazilian Portuguese is working well. Oh man, my face was covered the whole time with that. Maybe it made the show better. Obrigado. There. There you go. Now you can see me. Okay. He's like, dude, you're covering the screen with your goofball face. I'm sorry. I'm like that old guy that's like sitting there on the freeway with their blinker on the whole time. You know what I'm saying? That's me. I'm blinker guy. What is going on, Seth? Let's see. Let's go up and change the question one more time here. So we're gonna say, tell me about your hiking jackets. Now I'm gonna debug it because I want to make sure. I want to make sure. Let me set a breakpoint right here. I'm so dumb. I'm like the guy with the blinker on. You know the guy, right? And you're just like, you're like driving along, like just driving along with your blinker on. Oh man, I should have looked over at the thing. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong, and I'll fix it. It's like I'm sitting here driving with the blinker on. Click, 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 click. Just living my life in Florida, with a fishing hat. I never go fishing. Click, 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 click. Gosh, I'm so dumb. Thank you. All right, now let's go to this thing right here, and let's debug it. I want to show you something cool. So when I hit debug, notice that it's actually going to debug the code. This is the best part. And I think you're going to love this because online it was a little harder to do this. You could do it, but now notice that you're actually doing the thing. So here's the question coming in: index name, Contoso Trek. Tell me about your hiking jackets. Here's the embedding. So I'm gonna F10 this. F10. I'm getting the vector embedding here. Boop. And then I'm gonna do a search. Search. Doot, doot, doot. Oops. Control Z. So now when you look at docs, you should see there's a couple of docs. There's two of them. The Rainguard hiking jacket and the Trailblaze hiking pants. I think you made a mistake there on the search. But that's okay. We'll let the LLM figure it out. So we'll continue this and hit run. And the flow will come out. The nodes will come out. And let's see what the outputs are. Let's go to PromptFlow here. All of these things are now completed. Wow, I need to control minus this. It's too small. And so the inputs come in and goes to the question embedding, retrieves the documentation, puts the question to the prompt, the LLM response comes, and the outputs. The question is, how do we call this index? Right here. So I'm doing the embedding right here. You can see that I'm taking the question and doing it an ADA embedding. To retrieve the documentations, I did this artisanally. So I actually called Azure Cognitive Search using a search client. And you can even see here the inputs is this embedding, and then the outputs is this gloriousness here. All right, these things. So inputs, outputs. There's no errors. There's the node name, so we'll go back down. Very helpful stuff here. Very helpful. And then when I look at the LLM response, you can see that the output is a generator, which is kind of a bummer. So someone's asking about the index. We can talk about this in next episode because we're going to run out of time. But a vector index is essentially just like a search index. I stuffed a bunch of documents into it. If you want to see like the actual code, I did it really fast using this code. So this is the index definition. You can see it says Contoso Trek. I added some semantic configuration, some headers, and I sucked in some documents, did the embedding, and then just pushed a record into it. And then I pushed them all into Azure Cognitive Search. There's a way to do this automatically too, but this was like 100 lines of code, and I was like, I'll just write it so I can do it every time. So that's how I index them myself. Okay, so there's the output. Wonderful. Now the other thing now that we need to add is we need to add a way for the customer to be represented. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another Python node for Python for a customer lookup. Boop, new file. Nice. Nice. And as I've been doing before, I'm just going to take some code that I've written only because I'm probably going to mess it up. But by the way, this is everything you need to do this stuff. And I hope, as you've noticed that now I need to have a Cosmos DB package in there. I don't have it in there, so I'll just add it to the requirements.txt. And then I will say pip install -r requirements. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Be happy. Be happy. There you go. Now it's happy. And so I'll go over here, and this thing should now, when I refresh it, let's refresh it. All this does is it looks at like the inputs and outputs. So I'm going to say that the thing coming in is the customer ID. The connection I'm going to use is Hubert Cosmos because it's a custom connection. And actually, let me show you this custom connection. So I'm going to update it. Notice that all I'm doing is I'm passing like an endpoint, a database ID, and a container ID, and then this is not changing. But again, these connections. This is not a file that lives in your app. It doesn't live there. It's part of PromptFlow. So again, the connection information will be stored in a local database with API encrypted for safety. PromptFlow will only use the connection information used when instructed by you, e.g., manage connections, use connections to run flow, etc. Okay. All right. So let's go back to our flow.dag.geml. And now what we want to do is we want to, in the prompt, inject more stuff about the customer. All right. So I am going to take this text right here. I'm going to add this in here, which is customer context. So let me go to this thing here because I want to show you what's in the Hubert Cosmos database so you can see what data is that I'm returning. So let me go to the data explorer. Here's Contoso Outdoor. Here's the customers. Notice that the customer ID number 6 is Emily Rodriguez, and she's purchased some things. You can see that in there. So that's what's going on there. Okay, now let's go back to my code here. I think I did the right thing because she's got a lot of purchase. Yes, she's got a lot of purchases. So I don't think I need this anymore. So I added a Cosmos client. I'm using the connection, the custom connection, to pull some configs out, some secrets. That's what's coming out of this thing. I'm reading the customer ID from the container, and then I'm shortening the number of orders because you only have so much space in your prompt for text. So I'm restricting their previous orders to just the last 2, and then the response goes there. So let's do a little debuggeration here. Let me close this and let me go over here because I think this thing needs a customer ID, right? And now this thing, I need to, I think I just, did I change the Control S? So this flow dot, there you go. Generating tool metadata. It needs a customer. No, this is wrong. So this thing needs a customer. This thing needs a customer. And this customer is the output of the customer lookup.output. Okay, let's do this. Hi there, name. Thanks for got it wrong. That's cool. All right, so let's do a little quick debug. No, that's not what I want. Let's do a little quick debug to make sure it's retrieving the right things. So we'll do F10 here. F10. Oh, F10. Looks like it's calling both of these. So I can take this breakpoint out. F5. Oh, I must have hit F5 too many times. It finished. So what's the output? Oh, there's the output. Hi there, Emily. We have a great selection of hiking. Hold on, I got to make this like a commercial. Hi, Emily. We have a great selection of hiking jackets. You might be interested in our Rain Guard hiking jacket. It's made with waterproof and breathable fabric, has adjustable cuffs and hem, multiple pockets for storage. Plus, as a base member, you can enjoy a discount on your purchase. Yeah, thank you. That was delightful. So now we have a full prompt flow going on here. Let me run it. Let me just do it in standard mode here and just show you that it's running it. All of it. There you go. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Wow. That's pretty cool. I mean, look at this. This wow. This output's even better. Hold on. See, even better. Like, hi, Emily. Our Rain Guard hiking jacket would be a great addition to your outdoor gear collection. It's lightweight, waterproof, and breathable, perfect for your hiking needs. You previously purchased Trekstar hiking sandals and the Alpine Explorer tent, which would complement this jacket nicely. We also have a user guide reviews and warranty information available if you'd like more details. Let me know if you have any other questions. That was perfect. That's perfect. That's a great answer. Here's a question. So Cosmos DB is being leveraged for vector search as well as storage of index docs. So no, yes and no. So I am using a combination of unstructured documentation that's been indexed and structured documentation. So for example, when you release this thing, let's just say this thing, you want to build it or something. The idea is that you're building an API that takes the chat history, the question, and a customer ID and builds an LLM app. And it takes those things and it goes through the prompt flow and generates a response. That's what this is. That's what this thing is all about. So you see it here. Pretty cool stuff, right? So that's it. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Okay, so we built this. Like I was yapping more than I was building, to be honest. So notice that this is the Cosmos TV, and let's change the user to like Jason. Let's go to I don't know. Pick a number. I'll do 7. We'll do number 7 here, just so you can see that it's actually calling this thing. So let me run it. Let me just run it in standard mode here. There it goes. It's running it. Beep boop beep boop beep beep beep. That's hold on. Oh, let me run it again. Let me run it again because I want to make sure that I get it like really good. So it's working. Yeah, it's coming back. Ooh. There you go. That's it. Hello, Jason Brown. Thank you for your interest in our hiking jackets. We have the Rain Guard hiking blah 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 blah. It has a reflective blah 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 blah. It would go great with your Skyview Pro Person 10. Oh, it's like Phi Sharp. It's like you and me were born on the same day. Brothers were from another mother. Well, turns out there is this thing called build that you can do. I haven't pushed that button yet. Um, the other way you can do it is you can push it to Azure. Uh, we have a way to do deployments on this stuff. ml.azure.com. Beep, 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 beep. You can like here's the same flow that I did before. This is the same one online actually. That's why I could copy code. You can actually do a deploy right here as well. And you're going to start to see the integration of this with this as well. Great question. All right. So let me look at my notes, make sure I got everything going. Make a thing. I did the thing. Now let's go to some of the links that you may want. If you want to learn about PromptFlow, you can totally do that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. This is the docs to PromptFlow. You can get those there. I love how my face is covered up. It I think it makes the show better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it makes the show better. I don't know. If you want the PromptFlow extension, you can totally go here. This thing. Let's see if you've done. Let's see if we've done some homework here. Only 460. Well, it went up a couple. Thank you. Thank you. It went up a couple. Okay. So we got that there. Then we also have the PromptFlow local quick start guide. You can totally go here. Quick start. This guide will walk you through the first steps using the first step using a PromptFlow. I need to go through and fix some of this. We write this stuff too fast sometimes. Notice that in this case, I use a virtual environment, but this uses the Conda environment, which is just fine. You can see the flow directory. You can look at the flow.yaml here. Let's look at this in no, I guess that's not what I wanted. Let's big this a little bit. You can see the same thing I did. Each of these things relate to these things right here, inputs and outputs at the top. And each one of these things are in this code here. And the reality is that all this thing does, this view is just a visual representation of this. Because this is really the asset. And the other thing that's cool is I can get status, git add dot, git commit minus m, initial prompt flow. Boop. Oh, control C. No, 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 no. There's so much git ignoring I need to do. Like, oh gosh, off with ya. We don't need the dot prompt flow. Or maybe we do. I don't know. I should ask what this is. Oh, I see what this is. You don't need this. So I'm going to take that out. How do you undo something with Git? Uncheck in. Let's go here. How do I go to the folder and say undo? Uh, unstage changes. Unstage changes. Unstage. 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 Nice. We'll keep that. Okay, cool. So now this git ignore was added. So let me do git add dot git status. Nice. So this is exactly all the files we want. And I'm going to say git commit minus m initial prompt flow. Assign all my commits. And now you can see I got to find a way to this is ignored. So let me open it up again. I don't know why I have to do this sometimes. I'll check the other one in so you can actually see it. But there you go. I built a custom prompt flow from scratch, as we say. Visual editor here. So download it. Well, let's get to 5,000 by the end of the month. It's only at the beginning of the month, so please go download it, try it out, install it. Couple of things I also want to mention is we have a Discord channel too. If you want to go to that Discord channel, they were like, "Hey Seth, we made a Discord channel," and I was like, "What is that?" Further evidence that I'm the guy from Florida with his blinker on still. That's me. So, yep. Okay, so go to our Discord channel. I'll be there. If you at me, is that what the kids do in the Discord? They at people. There's stuff in there. We want your feedback. This is obviously still early, but I think it's great because now you can build uh, LLM applications from scratch. Scratch. All right, let's see what people are saying here. Get your comments and questions. Love the progress on the documentation. Thank you all. Thank you all. I see the final result as an interesting pipeline backed by this YAML file. What about deliver? Yep, you can make that. There is this thing. I haven't played with this yet, but yeah, it's all there. We're trying to do the right thing. Um, uh, what else we got? Great sales pitch. They're talking about like the rain guard hiking jacket, totally made up. We talked about the index, etc. We'll just send you a buzzing. Is my code available on GitHub? Not yet. Not yet. But the reality is that like the only code I wrote, and this is important, is cognitive search and customer lookup. But yeah, I'll put this online soon. If I don't have it now, by the next show, I'll show you where it is. And if you join the Discord channel, I can tell you there too. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to do today, as we finish up, is look at the GitHub communities. GitHub communities page. Beep beep. Let's go to discusiones. This is ours. Machine learning and LLM ops. Nice. Semantic kernel is okay. I like this a little bit better because it's very transparent what's happening all the time. I don't like anything that hides LLM calls. Not hides it, but like pushes it down the stack. It's just I don't like it, in my opinion, but still. Okay, so let me go to discussions here. Let me go to machine learning and LLM ops. New discussion. Flow extension in VS Code. Let's go prompt flow VS Code. Okay. Okay. New VS Code extension to build one of your impressions, thoughts. Oh, whoa, what happened? Oof, my screen just blinked. And then we'll do this. It's code extension. Preview. Here are the docs. Thoughts on the documentation. Ideas. Let me do this here. Documentación. Documentation. What is this? Oh, this is new. I've never seen that. PromptFlow, Microsoft.github.io. Oh shoot! I gotta put the closing music on here because we need to walk it off here in a second. So let me put this in here. Okay. Doop. Go in there and tell me what you think. Labels. Okay. All right. There we go. All right, my friends. It's been another wonderful one. I wonder if I can put this up at the top. Can I move this up? Pin this. Pin. Alrighty, my friends. It's been a fantastic day being with you. Thank you so much for spending some time with me learning all about how to do PromptFlow local. Just a couple of reminders. If you want to learn more about the PromptFlow tool, here is the website that has the getting started. Let's talk about some of the docs. The docs you can find right here. Here's the VS Code extension that you can get, and then our Discord channel if you'd like to join. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much for being with us. We've been learning all about the new VS Code extension for PromptFlow here on the AI Show Live. Thank you so much for being with us, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care.